She was the only girl in the boot camp, quiet, skinny, and clearly out of place. From day one, the boys laughed. "She'll cry before sunrise," one whispered. "She's just here for attention," another smirked. But that night, in the showers, one recruit gasped. Etched across her back was a military tattoo, not a fake one, but an elite black insignia only awarded posthumously to fallen heroes. When the commander saw it the next morning, his voice cracked. "Where did you get that?" Eliza quickly became the target, not for what she did, but for what she didn't do. She didn't laugh. She didn't complain. She didn't quit. But that silence made the others uneasy. During physical drills, she was slower than most. Her frame struggled under the weight of a full rucksack. Her fingers trembled when crawling across gravel. And on day 4, she collapsed mid-run. The laughter returned. "She's not a soldier, she's a sympathy project. Guess that tattoo didn't come with muscles." But even after falling, she stood back up. Bruised knees, bleeding palms, no words. That night in the mess hall, one of the louder recruits, Reed, slammed his tray beside her. "So where'd you steal that tattoo from, huh? Your boyfriend's back?" The others chuckled, waiting for her reaction. She just looked at him calmly. "You don't know what you're talking about." Her voice was soft, but there was something in it, something that made even Reed pause. Not fear exactly, but a flicker of doubt. Still, the bullying escalated. Her gear was tampered with. Her nameplate was smeared with mud. Someone left a broken compass in her footlocker. Only one person didn't join in, a quiet, observant cadet named Mason. He didn't speak up, but he didn't laugh either. He just watched her, with curiosity, and maybe a little respect. Meanwhile, the commander grew distant. He avoided eye contact with Eliza. Every time she passed, his jaw clenched. He never addressed her directly in drills, but always lingered nearby, watching. Then came the weapons test. Each recruit had to disassemble and reassemble a standard rifle under time pressure. Most panicked, fumbling, swearing. When Eliza's turn came, she stepped forward with calm precision. In less than 30 seconds, the weapon lay in pieces. 30 more, and it was back together, perfectly. Even the instructor stared. "Where'd you learn that?" he asked. Eliza didn't blink. "Home." The whispering started again. 3 days after the weapons test, the atmosphere around Eliza shifted. Not warmer, just quieter. The jeers faded, the jokes stopped, but the staring continued. Even Reed, the loudest of the group, didn't say much anymore. Not after she outperformed half the squad in the marksmanship trial, landing 4 of 5 shots dead center. Still, no one could figure her out. Why didn't she ever talk about her past? Why did the commander, stern with everyone else, seem so tense around her? The answers came during night watch. Mason and Eliza were paired together for patrol duty. It was cold, quiet. They stood under the stars with rifles at their sides. After a long silence, Mason finally asked, "So, what's with the tattoo?" Eliza didn't answer at first. Her eyes stayed on the tree line. Then, without turning, she said, "It belonged to someone who never made it back." Mason didn't push, but Eliza kept talking. "He was a soldier, special forces. They called him the Ghost, because he always completed missions no one else could. I was only 16 when he left for his last deployment." She paused. "I remember the knock on the door. 2 officers. My mother fell to her knees. They handed me his tags. Said he died saving 6 men from a convoy ambush." She looked at Mason, her eyes glassy but steady. "I got the tattoo on my 18th birthday. Same place he had it. Same ink. Same scar line running through it. Because I needed to remember why I'm here." Mason's voice was low. "He was your father?" Eliza nodded once, Silence returned. But it wasn't awkward anymore. It was heavy, with respect. What Eliza didn't say, though, was this. The commander, Colonel Halrick, knew her father. They weren't just fellow soldiers, they were best friends, brothers in arms. Her father had died saving Halrick's life. Eliza never wanted special treatment. That's why she hid her identity, changed her last name when she applied, came in as just another recruit. But the commander had recognized the tattoo the moment he saw it. He just hadn't figured out how to face the daughter of the man who died for him.
The final week was a nightmare. It was called Hell March. 48 hours through the forest, no food, no sleep, carrying full gear, facing surprise ambushes, code puzzles, and moral decisions under pressure. Only the top 60% would pass. Eliza's name was at the bottom of the board. The squads were randomized. Fate put Reed, Mason, and Eliza on the same team. By hour 16, the group was broken. Reed snapped, "She's dragging us down again." "She hasn't said a word," Mason defended. "Exactly," Reed spat. "She's hiding something. That tattoo? Fake courage." Eliza finally stopped walking. Her voice came low. "You think carrying weight is hard? Try carrying silence." Reed rolled his eyes. "What does that even mean?" Eliza stared straight at him. "I carry a name I can't speak, a pain I can't show, and a promise I refuse to break. So yes, I'm slow, but I don't quit." The woods fell silent. Even Mason said nothing. Hours later, deep into the second night, the squad was ambushed, part of the final simulation. Gunfire blanks, smoke bombs, sirens. Reed took off running the wrong way, straight into a ravine. A sharp scream followed. When Mason reached him, he was curled up, clutching a dislocated shoulder and bloody leg. He couldn't walk. The team had one choice: leave him or carry him back to Checkpoint Bravo, a 3-hour hike uphill. Mason hesitated. Eliza didn't. She knelt. "Help me lift him." Together, they carried him, through mud, thorns, and smoke. Eliza's hands were shaking, arms buckling, but she didn't stop. At the final checkpoint, the instructors were speechless, but none more than Commander Halrick, standing tall behind the line. He watched her cross the boundary, Reed barely conscious on her back. Her shirt was torn, the tattoo exposed. His eyes met hers, and for the first time in 6 weeks, they both stopped pretending. "You're his daughter," he whispered. "You've got his eyes." Tears shimmered in Eliza's eyes, but she nodded, exhausted. "I didn't want to be his shadow. I wanted to stand where he stood." Halrick, voice thick with emotion, saluted her. The first salute he gave any cadet. "You didn't stand in his shadow. You walked beside his ghost and carried his name further." Bootcamp graduation was always loud, chants, medals, applause. But when Eliza stepped forward, the entire yard fell silent. She walked alone across the parade ground, scars on her arms, bruises on her neck, but her spine straight like steel. Commander Halrick stood waiting, a medal in hand. Not the standard commendation. It was a silver emblem once awarded to her father, a symbol of valor. Halrick's voice echoed across the formation. "This is not just a cadet. She is the daughter of the man who carried me through fire, and today she proved that legacy isn't blood, it's choice, it's action, and hers speaks louder than any name." Eliza stepped forward, her voice firm but soft. "I never wanted to wear his name like armor. I wanted to earn my own." Then she looked out at the squad, even at Reed, who stood with his arm in a sling, head lowered in shame. I carried someone through the forest who once pushed me down. Not because he deserved it, but because my father would have done the same. The commander pinned the medal to her uniform. But this time, she didn't feel like the quiet girl from week 1. She stood taller. Not because others finally respected her, but because she respected herself. In the crowd, Mason clapped first. Then slowly, every cadet followed, even Reed. Later that day, as Eliza packed her things, she found a sealed envelope under her pillow. No name on it. Inside was a photograph, her father and Commander Hallrick, shoulder to shoulder in dusty gear, both smiling. On the back, scribbled in the commander's handwriting, "He never doubted you would rise, and now, neither will I." Eliza smiled through tears. She folded the photo and tucked it inside her shirt, over her heart. Because that's where her true badge had always been. Never judge someone by what they seem to lack, because quiet strength often carries the heaviest legacy. And sometimes, the most broken footsteps leave behind the strongest path.